Hello and welcome back to the one, the only Welsh Watch podcast. Today is episode 4 and I'm joined by the usual suspects. I'm joined by Lee.
Hi everyone.
Tom.
Hiya.
Jack.
Hello.
And Ben.
Hi.
If you don't know about the Welsh Watch podcast, it revolves all around Welsh football. We'll be talking about all the players that have played in the past week. We'll be picking out a few who have played well. And then we'll be talking about a future focus where some Plymouth fans have joined in on their discussion. Should we just get straight on with it?
Let's go.
Let's go. This is the Welsh Watch segment, and today we've got a special one for you. We are going to be comparing two players. Who would you rather see on the plane to the Euros? Would you rather see David Brooks or Harry Wilson? Harry Wilson obviously joined on loan to Cardiff from Liverpool. He's had an impressive start where he scored quite a few goals. I mean, he's had 5 games, 3 goals, 1 assist. Not bad in the opening games in such a difficult division. Or you have David Brooks. Since 2018, he's played 44 games for Bournemouth. He's got 10 goals. And a large part of that was in the Premier League. He was linked to big clubs such as Everton, Man United or Spurs, but so was Harry Wilson. And on his last game out against Birmingham, he scored 2 goals. And although they weren't the best goals, every goal counts. So, who would you rather have, Lee?
It's a tough one, but for me, it would have to be Harry Wilson. I think he's just got that extra bit of quality that you're definitely going to need in the Euros. I mean, he'd probably take both on the plane, but if you had to start one, it had to be Harry Wilson. His free kicks, his passing ability, and his ability to play on the wing and in a centre attacking midfield role. I think he's the best one for you.
What about you, Tom? Who would you rather take?
So for me, obviously both of them are in the squad. Fitness permitting, you take them both of them every single time. Starting, if you can only put one of them in the team, for me, I'm going to go Brooks purely because he's got the Premier League experience and Wilson hasn't really played in the Premier League yet. Obviously, he's had a bit of game time at Liverpool, but not enough, whereas Brooks has had good games with Bournemouth to show that he can play at the highest level. Wilson's not done that yet. So, yeah, for me, David Brooks.
Jack, who would you rather have, the Cardiff loanee or the Bournemouth winger?
See, no, that's tough because they're both very similar as players and their form as well. We both know they both got quality as well. But I'm more towards Brooks, primarily because of the Premier League aspect, because I think he's had more game time in the Prem and obviously tougher opponents, and he's performed, like, the creativity and his movement on the ball is brilliant. But Wilson as well, it's tough because he can take free kicks as well and everything, but it's a tough one, but I'll probably have to go with Brooks. Yeah, I pick Brooks, but both of them in the squad for me.
Yeah, I agree to a certain extent. Ben, who would you rather?
Oh, I think there are a lot of similarities between Harry Wilson and Harry Potter. Basically, his left foot is basically a wand. So for me, Harry Wilson. I just think at the moment, I just think he's a better player. Not that David Brooks isn't a great player; he's also a great player. I just think Harry Wilson, like basically what Lee said, I just think he's got that slight more quality that you'd want in the starting 11, and I like the way he plays. I like, he can shoot, he can pass, and I just think it's that one step up above Brooks.
I agree with you there. I'd rather go with Harry Potter and his magic feet. Only because I think he's that big game player where if there's any time you need anything, he's more likely to create that moment from a free kick, from anything really. I think he's more likely to bang in a goal from 25 yards, whereas Brooks, he sometimes has a game where he just disappears. And that's just my opinion. But I'd rather take Harry Wilson. Obviously, we're going to be taking both, but in that starting 11, I go with Harry Wilson personally. But that takes us on to our next 2 players. This is for the battle up front. So, who would you rather go with, experience or form? Today, we're talking about Christian Doidge or Hal Robson-Kanu. Christian Doidge, obviously, bagging goals for fun up in Scotland for Hibernian. This season, he's got 3 goals, 2 assists. But last season, 28 games, 12 goals, and 3 assists. But the thing that separates these two is the game time. Hal Robson-Kanu plays for West Brom, obviously, in the Premier League, but that he's not at the top rank of the striker format at West Brom. And he's also got an arm injury where he's out for a number of months. But I'm sure he'll be back in time. This season, he's only played 3 games in the Prem, which isn't great. He's got 2 caps in the FL Cup, and he's scored 3 goals. But head or heart? Do you remember Euro 2016? How can you forget that classic spin against Belgium? For me, I'd go Christian Doidge, personally, just for that game time. He's more fresh. And if you were to put Hal Robson-Kanu into the team now, would he hit the ground running over Christian Doidge? I don't think he would, just because of that game time and the lack of fitness on Hal Robson-Kanu's side. But Ben, who would you rather go with, Christian Doidge or Hal Robson-Kanu?
It really is choosing between head and heart. I mean, like you say, my heart says Robson-Kanu. You know, he knows the players. He already knows the squads. You know, he knows how to work with us. He knows what's right, what's wrong. And obviously Doidge doesn't have the experience with the national team. But yeah, again, in terms of form over experience, I feel like at this point, you've got to go with form. So I'd like to say Robson-Kanu, but I think come the Euros, it would have to be Doidge.
Jack, who would you rather go with, head or your heart?
Well, see, as a tough one, Robson-Kanu was a place in my heart, obviously, with the last tournament. But yeah, like Ben was saying, you want to pick form for the upcoming tournament, really. As you say, he will be back in time with his fitness, Robson-Kanu, but you want game time. So Doidge, although he hasn't been in the squad, listening to what Ben said, but yeah, I'd have to pick Doidge and just see if experiment with him as well, because he might even work better in our squad than Robson-Kanu, which is a tough, you can't really say that, but you've got to give him a chance anyway, yeah. But I'd pick Doidge.
Lee, how about you?
I would say Doidge, but I'm going to go with Hal Robson-Kanu purely because of his experience. I think that is going to be needed in a major tournament because, let's be honest, I don't think he's going to play even if he did go to the Euros. Like, you've got to keep him more up front. So I think he's the type of player that you need on the bench to, push on the young players and just give them some inspiration. And who knows, he could do that magical turn once again.
That's all. Tom, head or heart, what do you think?
It's a tough one. It is. I think for me, looking at it, if something happens to Kiefer, do you want a striker to bring in who has been banging them in Scotland for the last season and a half, or do you want someone who's been sat on a West Brom bench for a season and a half? And for me, that just swings it. For me, it's Christian Doidge that you'd take over Hal, which it hurts to say it, but yeah, unfortunately, it would be Doidge for me.
Well, there we have it. The Welsh Watch boys have gone with Christian Doidge. Ooh, kind of had a ring to it. It's time to move on to our future focus segment. Today, we're talking about Luke Jephcott. He's Plymouth Argyle striker and he's only 20 years old. He's the highest scoring under-21s player in 2020 in the top 4 tiers, so pretty impressive stat. The only player closely following him is Sheffield United's Ryan Brewster, who's on 11 goals. Plymouth sit 8th in League One on 18 points, and with his addition to the squad, we are hoping he can take Plymouth up. Why wouldn't we love to see another Championship Welsh player? So we're just going to go on to Tom's opinion. What do you think on Luke Jephcott?
Yeah, I mean, he's looked all right, but you have to remember he is only playing at League One level. He's played a few games for Wales under-19s and under-21s, yet to get off the mark for them. And he's only really started making a name for himself this season. I know he won a Player of the Month award back in January after scoring 5 goals. And he's started this season well. But for me, I think I'd want to see him get a bit more experience at a higher level before he's in the squad.
Obviously, we don't watch Plymouth Argyle. We are not the most knowledgeable people on this player. So we thought we'd call in the recruits. So we got hold of Zach Collard-Baker, who is a fellow trainee journalist and a lifelong Plymouth fan. Let's see what he has to say.
Hi guys, thanks for having me on your podcast. So where do I start with Luke Jephcott? So went to Truro, scored bags of goals, but they are quite far down. I think they're one below the National League South. So yeah, you'd hope a striker scores that many in that league. We're in League Two, kind of up there. We're battling with playoffs, but we're kind of lacking a goal scorer. We just didn't really have one. January comes, we recall him. I don't think much of it. I think we had a couple injuries to our strikers as well. So, just get him on the bench or something. Scunthorpe away. I go to that game actually. He starts. He scores twice, and he's exactly what we need. I could tell the second he scored his first goal for us, I was like, yeah, he's exactly what we need. He's in the right positions. He's a poacher. He'll get on the end of a cross. And all season we've been putting crosses into the box. No one there. First time we put a cross into the box when he's playing, bang, gets on the end of it, goal. Bang, does it again, brace. Next game, scores another brace. I thought, cool, we have a player on our hands here. And he had quite a good second half of the season. I think he got Young Player of the Month as well. So yeah, League One comes on. Oh, he's a young lad. Can he handle a step up? Blackpool at home, first game of the season. Bang, scores after about 4 minutes. I thought, and every time he scores or has a good game, just dollar signs must come up in Simon Hallett's head. Just dollar signs, because he's just added to his value every game he plays. He's a natural goal scorer. He won't score 40-yard worldies, but he'll be in the right positions and he'll get on the end of the cross and he'll finish goals. He'll get you goals. To have that kind of mentality at that age, it's a good sign. So your next question is, will he make it into the Wales squad for this Euros? Now, while I've just been singing his praises for the last 2 minutes, he's not quite Wales level yet. We saw with Ethan Ampadu, he moved from Exeter, he went to Chelsea, and he's in the Wales squad. But I mean, I don't think he's that level yet. I think give him another season. I think definitely if he has a good season this season, clubs will come knock him. And he's a young player. We've got him tied down. He'll go for a decent wedge. He'll earn our goal. A decent wedge, I think. There's no doubt in my mind he will be in the Wales setup, just not right now. He's got a few goals this season already. I don't see why he won't get more. If he keeps up the form, the world's his oyster. I think he can handle himself in the Championship. Maybe not right away, because he's still got to develop a bit. He's a bit short. He's a bit he's not the strongest lad, I don't think. So I don't know if he can handle the physicality of the Championship, but it will develop into a real talent. And whoever picks him up next, because I mean I'd love him to stay at Argyle, but whoever picks him up next, I've got a real player in their hands. Yeah. And again, thank you guys for having me on the podcast. Feel free to, any more Welsh talents come to Argyle, feel free to get my information again. Cheers guys, thank you.
So, thank you very much to Zach Collard-Baker. We appreciate that very much. And next of all, we'll move on to Chris Webb, who is also a lifelong Plymouth Argyle fan.
Hi everyone. I'm here to talk about Luke Jephcott, or what qualities he brings to the team first of all. So Luke is an out-and-out goal scorer. So if you're a fan of Welsh football, which I'm sure you are, listening to this podcast, and you'll be thinking of someone like Ian Rush. Obviously, not at that level yet. I mean, Rush was a world-class striker, wasn't he? But somebody who you'd think drifts in and out of the game, but then all of a sudden, bang, scores all sorts of goals. You can score like headers outside the box, inside the box, but it seems that Luke most enjoys the ones that are scrappy, in off the knee and off the backside. Just an out and out goal scorer, and somebody with huge potential. I think clubs at every single level look for potential goal scorers. So he has that knack, which is fantastic for Argyle at the minute, which is brilliant for us. In terms of his ability to make the Welsh national team, I think at the end of the day, the world is Luke's oyster. I think he needs to go away to the under-21s. He needs to get some time. I think he needs to make his mark. And then, if he can do that and he can keep scoring for Argyle this season, I see no reason why he can't make the team. He is on fire. Last season he went on loan to Truro. And many people, as with young players, think, is that the last we see of that young player coming through the club? But it wasn't. He came back and he was on fire, and he smashed in the goals in the curtailed season in League Two? And then the next question mark was, but will he do it at League One level? And he's just taken to it like a duck to water. He's absolute class act. And as I say, a real goal threat. The sort of player I'd imagine a centre-half comes up off the pitch after playing and thinks like, how did he score? Or how did he score 2 goals? Like, but he's just got great movement, great interchanging with his partner at the minute, Ryan Hardy, and just knows where the net is. One of those sort of strikers. Back at Argyle, another sort of link into Welsh football would be, Newport County had Tommy Tynan and John Aldridge at one time, and we took Tommy Tynan. There is definitely something Tommy Tynan-esque about Luke in the way he puts the ball in the net and sniffs out any sort of opportunity. And I suppose that will lead to, if he keeps it in the back of the net, the possibility of him not playing for Argyle anymore, because the reality in football is, the one commodity that any manager wants, any football supporter wants, is a number 9 that can put the ball in the net on a regular basis. Though I do think Luke loves it at Argyle. Obviously, he's come through the academy, he's got a love for the club, and I would hope that, and I'm sure he'd want to achieve something with Argyle before moving on. But at the end of the day, you know what, if you can bring through academy players and they can make their mark and they can go on to do great things in the game, whether that's with your club or moving on to better themselves, then you wish them well. But I would like to see Luke score many, many more goals in a green shirt before he considers that. I think, in terms of his goal tally, I think it's, he is the highest scorer in under-21 play in all 4 leagues. I think that's a sort of stat that's going to put him on Ryan Giggs' radar. And then I think once he's on that radar, it's about him saying, like, I'm the man. I can get to that Euros tournament with Wales. I can make my mark. And it's just, even if, because he is a young lad, but even the prospect of bringing someone else off, like Luke, off the bench, it must be an incentive to top-level managers or any manager, because in games, often you hit the 70 minutes, 75th minute, and you need a goal. You're a goal behind, or it's 0-0. And Luke is just a striker. I'd imagine every manager would love to have come off the bench, somebody who's going to sniff a chance. So I see no reason why he can't get in there and he can't get into the Wales squad. But, more importantly, for us, I suppose, from a club perspective, if he's in the Wales squad or the Wales under-21 squad, that means he's doing well for Argyle. So hopefully there's a mutual beneficial there. So I think that basically, that's enough from me. I think, you got obviously what you want from me there from the podcast. Hope you guys are happy with that. And yeah, I'll send it over.
Thank you very much to all the Plymouth Argyle fans who took time out their day to send us in a video. And I'll just finish this off. Lee, do you think Luke Jephcott should be on the plane to the Euros, or give him a chance? What do you think? Yes or no?
Personally, no.
Tom?
Yeah, I still think he needs more game time, so no for me. Jack,
what do you think?
Personally, I think, might as well give him a chance. It's not like it's the actual squad yet. Just give him a chance, see what he's like. But I don't know.
I agree. And he also did get called up recently to the under-21, so see what he does in there, and we'll move on. If he has a good season with Plymouth, why not give him a chance? What do you think, Ben?
Yep, exactly the same. Give him a chance in maybe some of the friendlies. If not, just keep him in the under-21s. If he keeps scoring, get him in the team.
Brilliant. Let's move on to the last section. And this is where we preview the next Wales games coming up. We have one friendly on Thursday at 7:45 against the USA. And then on Sunday at 5 p.m, we play Ireland. And then Wales play against Finland on Wednesday at 7:45. We'll just go straight onto it. And first of all, we'll talk about Bale. He is fit. He's ready to go, and he should be featuring. He might not be playing in the USA game as it is a friendly, but he most likely will be used on Sunday against Ireland. But a big blow to the Wales midfield, as Aaron Ramsey is not fit, which is a shame. I think he was injured again for Juventus in midweek action, I think. That's a big blow, obviously, but we have to move on with the youngsters. So we'll just talk about USA. Obviously, they have some cracking players. Most likely, we'll talk about Christian Pulisic, great player who can cause a big threat to us. But what do you think? Do you think we'll go through that easily, Lee?
I think it'll be quite a good game, to be honest. As you said, it's a friendly, so both teams might experiment with their players, but I think it'd be quite a good game. So I expect some goals in there. So yeah, I think we could come out with a win if you play well.
Tom, do you expect Christian Pulisic to cause us any troubles if he's playing? Because he might not, just in case Chelsea don't want to use him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've seen his quality in the Premier League for Chelsea. So he will cause us problems if he is playing. I think we should just about have enough quality to squeeze out a win. I'm going to go for 2-1.
Yeah. Jack, what do you think on the game? It's only a friendly. Do you think we'll play a strong team? Do you think we'll get through it nicely?
I don't know if we'll go through it as nicely as we would like, but at the end of the day, it's more experience for everyone than it is a friendly, so the result doesn't really matter. So yeah, I think it is a great chance to experiment a bit more. And I'd probably say the same prediction as Tom and say 2-1.
Ben, what do you think? Do you think we should field a strong-ish team? Obviously, it's a friendly, but it may give others a chance for the Ireland game on Sunday.
Oh, well, that's the thing. America have a lot of players in Europe at the moment who are playing for some big clubs. You got like Reina at Dortmund, you got McKennie at Juventus, Dost at Barcelona. So it's not just Pulisic even at the moment. So they're going to be a good team. They're quite similar to us, I'd say. So I think, experiment with the team. We don't have Giggs in charge, but experiment. But you want to win this sort of game because it's quite a good side.
That's a good point, actually. Obviously, Ryan Giggs isn't taking charge of the next 3 games due to most recent allegations. Do you think that would play a part, Ben? Do you think we'll struggle under those conditions?
I think if anything, it'll make the players want to try harder. I think they'll want Giggs to come back in, knowing that they've just got some really good wins, good points. So I think if anything, it'll motivate them more.
Obviously, we heard your 2 opinions on the score. What do you think, Lee? Score prediction?
For the USA game, I'd say I'm going to go for a 1-0 win, but an exciting game still.
What do you think, Tom, again?
2-1.
Jack?
Aye, 2-1, the same as Tom.
Ben, what do you think?
I'm actually going to agree with Lee and say 1-0.
I'm going to go slightly bad. I'm just going to say a 1-1 draw. I don't know if the team will be strong enough to go through a USA team who have, like you said, have got experience. But at least it's only a friendly and it will be experimental. But Sunday, we move on to the big game. It's back to the Nations League. Obviously, it's going to be a tough game. Ireland, they haven't had a good start. They are on 2 points and we are looking to go top of the table. But let's talk about the players they have. They've got Matt Doherty, who obviously plays for Tottenham. They've got Harry Arter, Conor Hourihane, and they've got plenty of other bundles of talent. So how do you think the game will go down? How do you think we'll play? What do you think the team will be like? Lee, what do you think?
I think it's going to be a difficult game. I think both sides it will be tough for both sides. With Bale back, that's a major boost for Wales. So it's a tough call, but I think if Wales are on top form, I think they'll get out with a victory. So for a prediction, I would say 2-1 to Wales.
Tom, what do you think about? Obviously, we have the absence of Ramsey. Do you think that strong, solid Ireland midfield is going to play a factor?
Obviously, yeah. Ireland do have quite a lot of experienced options in midfield, but where they really lack is up front. They don't really have that many goals in their team. And obviously we do with Bale being fit. And it's also a chance for David Brooks to maybe show what he can do again in the number 10 role. So for me, I'm going to go for a 2-0 Wales win.
Obviously, Jack, it's a very important game for Ireland. It's a must-win as they have had a poor campaign so far. I mean, they're only sat on 2 points and Bulgaria below, only 1 point behind them. Do you think that pressure from Ireland and the pressure behind them from the fans is going to play a factor? Do you think they'll have something to play for? Because they kind of have to, don't they?
Definitely. They're going to be coming to get a win. They ain't going to be coming soft. So definitely. It's going to be a tough game. Ireland are going to need the points. But I think it's to stop with experimenting and start to build the squad that we want to take to the Euros, which is going to be tough. Obviously, Ramsey's out injured, but Bale playing, that's going to boost everyone's confidence, like the boys said. And obviously, that's going to lift hopes for fans. Everyone wants to see Bale playing. but obviously with the youngsters as well playing alongside him, yeah, it's going to be a very tough game against Ireland. But I think we'll scrape a 2-1 win against Ireland. It'll be tough, but I think we'll get a win.
Ben, what do you think? Obviously, top of the league at the moment on 10 points, with Finland just trailing behind on 9. Do you think if we are to win this game, does that give us a big advantage? Is that almost certain that we win the group?
I wouldn't say it's certain even if we win. If we win both games, possibly. But I'm not really sure about this game. I don't know why, but I've got another 0-0 written all over it for me. And I don't know if that's just something about Ireland and us. I don't know. But I think both teams are, they're good on paper at the moment. I just think that we clash too much and it's just too defensive when we seem to play them. Not even just in the most recent one, but just recently in the past few years. So I just think 0-0.
No. I think that's a solid prediction. I will go with that because every time we play Ireland, it seems to be a boring game. But hopefully it should be exciting. I think it's a big game for us. It's obviously a bigger game for Ireland, I assume. But if we go on to win, then we do go top of the group and extend the lead. And hopefully that puts us in a good shape for Finland. Obviously, Finland second in the group on 9 points. We play them Wednesday at 7:45. And their main player, Timo Pukki. Obviously, our defence in the last few games hasn't looked up to scratch. But do you think Timo Pukki is going to cause Wales some problems? Lee, what do you think? Do you think our defence can cope with Pukki?
Yeah, I do think Pukki can be a threat to Wales, but I also do see your defenders coping with him. I think it depends with him because he saw last season he struggled after making such a good start. So I think it depends on Pukki, but you should have the qualities at the back to keep him out. If Finland are to score, then Pukki should be the one who's on there. So yeah, a danger to watch, but you should be able to deal with him.
Obviously, as Finland have that big talent up top, Ben, what centre-back pairing would you play? What defence would you play?
I think I think he's secured his spot. Meffam's in for me. And I would probably start Rodon still. I'd still put him in. I know he's not played much, but he's a Wales starter in my eyes at the moment. And I think classic fullbacks, Ben Davies on the left. And I'd still put Nico in at right back now.
You play Nico?
Mm-hmm.
Bold shout. But obviously, we'll go on to our predictions. Lee, what do you think? Finland?
Again, 2-1 Wales.
Tom, what do you think?
3-1 Wales.
Ben?
I think it'll be another 85th minute winner, so 1-0 Wales.
I agree with that, actually. I'm going to go with 1-0 Wales as well. I don't know who's going to score. We'll see. Jack, what do you think?
Finland got a tough defence as well. You've got to keep that in mind. So I don't know. I'll probably say 1-0 Wales as well. Yeah, we'll go with that, 1-0 Wales.
Also, a shout out to Tom for last week. His prediction for Cardiff City versus Bristol was a great shout. However, Ben Evans, you've got some explaining to do with that 40 prediction.
I stand by it.
Well, it's very far wrong. I don't know if you saw the game, but Christ. Should have won, but oh well, we move on. Right, ladies and gentlemen, that is all we've got time for this week on the Welsh Watch podcast. That was episode 4. If you want to catch up, have a look down below. If you want to check any of our socials, I'm sure it'll be in the description. I've been your host, Ben Thomas. I've been joined by Lee.
Thank you for joining us today, everyone.
Tom.
Cheers, guys.
Jack.
Thank you for watching, guys. See you next week.
And Ben Evans with his questionable bucket hat, but his beautiful Welsh top.
Bye.
You're going to try and top that outfit next week?
Yes, I will. Keep an eye out.
Beautiful. Everyone, come back for that. I'm sure that'll keep you intrigued. But thank you very much for watching. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.